There we go. I do believe we're live. Hey. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution, another opportunity for us to consider exactly how sensitive we are. At least that's today's stream topic. We, human beings, are sensitive. Very much so. I had a moment today. My back is still hurting. How are you, mate? I'm doing good, Moon Knight. My back is still hurting. But I had a moment today where I had to get the external battery that I have connected to the Wi-Fi because we're without power for some reason. And then while I was getting that like situated, I was like pinching my knuckles. You can see them still being red. Right? I was pinching my knuckles against the cupboard, and it like took some skin off me. And like I finished my commotions, and then I like look at my hand, and I'm like, what the fuck? How did that happen? Why am I so sensitive? And then instantly I thought to myself about this conversation that me and my sister had a while back about how both of us have our mom's hands, right? I have big hands, but the fleshy stuff around my hands is me mom's. Got that genes from me mom, right? So my hands are very sensitive, and like very uh, soft. I get hurt easy, and I had a moment of recognition in that it's okay for me to be sensitive. In fact, would I rather have hands so tough that I don't get hurt? Maybe that sounds cool, but then everything I touch would be touched with the same toughness, right? So it's like we win some, we lose some. I become red like a tomato after I expose myself to the sun. Yeah, it's bad for you. It's bad for you, Moon Knight. I try and get as little sun as humanly possible. Really. This is like the most sunlight I'll get today, just being out here for the stream. I try and face away from it. I should be wearing sunscreen even though I don't have any direct rays coming at my face. But I've been dealing with pimples. My mom bought me some sort of stuff, some sort of acid that you're supposed to put on your face. Okay? And I don't think my face likes having that stuff put on it because clearly, fuck my, oh, shut up. I'm sorry. Shouldn't be cursings. It's not a kids channel, Melt. I need to chillax on myself. Like I don't want to be cursing, but sometimes cursing can be funny, right? And if I want to be funny in that way, I'll curse. You'll have to forgive me. Will you find it in your pure heart to forgive me of all of me transgressions? I sure do hope so. I am going to lock in for this space. I like being sensitive. My back has been absolutely killing me. And I don't know if I necessarily like it actually. However, I would rather be sensitive than not still. I don't know if I want any numb. No numb for me, please. Right? I haven't seeked out. I do partake of Mary. So that is in a way a pain suppressor. But I haven't seeked out any pain medication. I do have some left. When I had my wisdom teeth removed, they gave me some good pain meds. And I didn't finish it back then. And I still have some of it left now. And I haven't even thought about it up until just this moment, remembering that there is, in fact, medications to not feel things, to numb yourself. No, give me sensitivity. I'm usually vampire white, but I noticed yesterday I've gotten really tan this year, and I was like, what the fuck, yo? I never get color. Then I realized since having a kid, I've been outside every damn day. That will do it. That'll do it, Sam. Are you going outside with the kid? You going for walks? Taking him in strolls of the stroller? We call them pram here in Afrikaans. The pram. You taking them on a pram ride? Do let us know, Sam. This is also the part of me, now that I've kind of like shared the first thing that I wanted to say. The second part is like, wear sunscreen. Wear sunscreen. Please, Sam, when you go outside, try and wear some sunscreen. I know, it's like, oh, this guy's subscription up. Stop, Sam. Stop. The sunscreen works. You can go and do research. Some sunscreens are more expensive than others. Some of them work better than others. All right. And all of those chemicals have been studied for the most part. Are you going outside with the kid? Ha, I've been outside every damn day. This. You're a good mom. You're a good mom. You should get yourself a Dynavap though. I know you're saying something like, yeah, but Melt, I want to get the full spectrum. I'm pretty sure you still do get. You should still get some of the CBDs. I'm sure. Surely. Prairie Wolf is here too. On Sam smacks the mads. That's true. And we love her for it, despite it. It's been that way since the start, right? We've loved her this whole time, and that's not going to change it. I appreciate you being here with us, friends. I'm gonna start up my chat on this device so I can see it as well. Boom. Hey, Giovanna's here with us. We love her. Sam, I do look forward to going outside with you. Yeah, and then letting you use my Dynavap, Sam. And then you're like, wow, you were right the whole time, Melt. You were so right this whole time. And I'm like, yeah, Sam, tell me more. I have a pain condition, wheat house moon. It does. Whew, that it does. I see Jovan sent us more messages up top that I missed. The best thing about getting teeth removed is you get a bunch of ice cream. I didn't get a freaking... Did I? Did I get ice cream? I think I might have actually got an ice cream. I wanted to say I didn't get a lick of ice cream, and then I was like, wait a second. I might have, in fact, had one lick of ice cream. I don't think I ate mine. I think I had like a little bit of... No, I didn't. That's it. That's why. Because I remember having ice cream after having my tooth removed. But it was during that time that I promised that I'm going to do fasting so that I can kind of like boost my growth hormone, naturally produce growth hormone, so that I'll heal faster. So I wasn't eating at that point. I got the ice cream. I just didn't eat it. Yeah. I didn't get a lick of ice cream. There we go. Back on track. Are you going outside? Bless. My top half is pretty tan, thanks to mowing the lawn. My sister saw my legs and was like, "Are those pantyhose? I thought you were Filipino." Savage. Love is true. Yeah, I'll help you mow the lawn, and if you want to mow the lawn, I'll help you put on sunscreen. And if you want help putting on sunscreen and mowing the lawn, then you put sunscreen on me and I'll mow the other half of the lawn. I look forward to being able to help you, Joe. Chiefs, you should get yourself a Dynavap. Never. You're going to get a Dynavap eventually, Sam. And you're going to be so stoked about it. I can like see it already. Like again, Sam, the only reason I'm as adamant as I am on this is because I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that you have good taste. Right? Not only in the way as in like sophistication, but also just like actually you can taste good, right? And that is the big thing. That's the reason alone. Like it simply tastes better, right? Imagine you eat something. You like eating something like a protein bar. Imagine you like eating this protein bar because it gives you a pep in your step, makes you feel like you got your daily protein, right? Imagine that. But you've been eating this like really bad protein bar your whole life. It's functional. It gives you the protein in the bar form. It gives it to you. And then suddenly one of your friends, right? You see him snacking on another protein bar. And he's like, "Jeff, like this one tastes good. I know that protein bar have function, but this one actually tastes good. Like I can eat this one. This one tastes nice. I like it." That's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming from. Love is true. Good morning, Prairie Wolf. Reporting for court-ordered sensitivity training. Yeah, we'll get sensitive. This is the place to be sensitive. The kiddo seems to give you a headache. Get yourself done. Never. Sam, I do look forward to going outside with you. So much love. Aunt Jovan, how is your pet doing? He's loud, Moon. Yeah. Ceaseless squawkums. The more you keep preaching about Dynavap, the more opposed I'm going to be to it. I feel myself. What's the word I'm looking for? Mm, this is specific. This is a specific term or phrase. I feel myself something to your something, appeasing to your sensitivities. No, but it's something like that. It's somewhere the words are. I am breaking through slowly but surely. Sam needs CBDs. Sam cannot get the right amount of CBD with Dynavap. Without the CBD, I go back to having 20 to 25-minute migraines a month, and I'm not doing that. Again, just from my personal bias, you can get CBD in other ways. You can get like a thing of CBD gummies, and then have Dynavap on the side. Boom, boom! Look at that. Now it tastes double good. Now you get to chew gummy while taking Dynavaps, and then boom, boom, taste good twice. 2 times the taste good versus no tasting good at all in the first place. I do want to check something though. I do want to check. Not because I think you're wrong, just because I want to make sure. We're having a conversation. No, I'm using the really good model. I don't think I need to do that. Is 5 out yet? Let me see. I think 5 is supposed to be out. Nah, I only get 4.5. Fine, fine. We're having a conversation about the Dynavap, and specifically about CBD. Oh, jeebs. I used the wrong text. What is it? Speech to text. I and a friend are having a conversation about the Dynavap, and specifically about the medical benefits that we get from the cannabis that we partake of. There was a point raised that the Dynavap doesn't allow CBD to come through. Is that true? I'm curious. And if it like reduces the amount of CBD that's released, by how much? Is it a temperature thing? Give me the information. Search the web. There we go. Yo. Why would I buy weed, only vape it, then spend more money on CBD when I could just consume the freaking weed the way the good old Lord intended? I don't know if you know this, Sam, but we have a friend, me and Jovan, who has a Dynavap. And then she Dynavaps her bud, and then she smokes that bud that she's Dynavapped as well. And then she gets like all of the CBD from the Dynavap bud, and it tastes practically the same as your bud would have. All right, so you can do it the way the Lord intended to, on top of the fact that you got to have it not taste bad. My body is too long for me. It belongs to nobody, and I am very much afraid of it. Frank Kafka. Kafka is crazy, bro. No, the Dynavap does not block CBD from being vaporized. But temperature matters a lot. CBD vaporizes later than THC. So how hot and how long you heat your material will impact how much CBD actually makes it into your vapor. Why the Dynavap actually works for CBD. Dynavap devices are thermal extraction tools, not filters or kilns. They use conduction and convection to vaporize cannabinoids, CBD included, before combustion occurs. Multiple studies have shown that these devices can extract 80 to 96% of all available cannabinoids from your material, including CBD from properly dried flower. So if someone says, I don't get CBD through the Dynavap, it is not a technical blockage. It's more likely a temperature or technique issue rather than a design limitation. Yeah, okay, there we go. CBD evaporates at between 160 and 180 degrees Celsius. This thing clicks at 220. So this thing is way, and like the CBN and CBGs and the CBCs, that evaporates at the higher temperature limit of this thing. So there you go, Sam. Sam, 80 to 96% of the cannabinoids become extracted. Can we do a comparison? What percentage of cannabinoids are extracted if the flower is hit through a bong, for example? Oh my goodness, Sam, I can't imagine what you would go through with migraines. That's horrifying. I occasionally get a little headache, and then I think I'm dying. Jeeps, I feel you, friends, on that. Yeah, migraines are no joke. What is the extraction efficiency when smoking cannabis flower through a bong in comparison to the extraction efficiency when trying to use a Dino app? A diner app. Save your breath. I'm not getting a Dino app, man. You're getting a Dino app whether you like it or not. One of us are gonna buy you one, Sam. If you don't buy one yourself, that's the joke. All right. I just want you to use it when someone else buys it for you. All right. And now I'm getting all of the proof that I need. You're losing material, Sam. You'll save money in the long term using the Dynav app. Like that's the big thing as well. You're like, oh, open wallet and flies come out. You'll less flies will come out if you start using one of these. Right? Like again, you probably use 4 times the amount of bud in a single bong hit. If I tried hit 4 of these Dynavabs back to back to back, I'm gonna be like manual breathing here in stream with you. Smoking, combustion, e.g. bongs. A 2018 study of cannabis consumption, combustion across various smoking devices, joints, pipes, and bongs found that only about 12% of the THC in the flower ends up in the smoke and is actually being inhaled by the user, with a median near 10%. Most cannabinoid mass is lost to the side stream smoke, pyrolysis, and ash, right? So there you go, Sam. You lose literally 8 times the amount of cannabinoids when you combust it, which means literally, and I'm not trying to be funny, you literally have to smoke 8 times as much to get the same amount of medicine in your body. And then again, it is not as good for you as it could be because you are combusting something. I just want you to use it when someone buys it for you. I won't though. I like using glass and I'm not looking to switch. I'm gonna keep trying to convince you because again, it's bad for you. And I don't let my friends do things that are bad for them without them hearing about it for the rest of their lives. They can either stop being friends with me or they can stop doing the things that are bad for them, right? Those are the only 2 options. Oh, Melt, you're an asshole. Like again, if you're an asshole to yourself, right? I am just being a reflection. I'm just showing. I'm just standing here, right? Standing up for you. Many pharmacokinetic reviews placed inhaled bioavailability of THC via combustion. Yo, there you go. So the bioavailability when you combust THC again is in the 10 to 35% range. So you lose 90% of your cannabinoids to combustion, then you can only absorb 10 to 35% of the THC that's available, right? But most people get much less, typically in the 10 to 20 due to the waste and inefficiencies. Your body might absorb around 20 to 25% of the THC in the flower, but you'll only inhale about 10 to 15%. The rest is side stream smoke, retained, but usually destroyed. So combustion wastes 75 to 90% of the available THC and CBD before they ever reach your lungs, right? Like you cannot in a right mind be like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Up to 95% of the cannabinoids, destroy it. It's fine. Is that a green screen? You always have perfect view. Tell us the truth. This is real life. I'd try. I set it up I set it up like that on purpose, T-Man. Like, it's not always perfect, right? Like, I could have that as a view, freaking griller and chairs, but that wouldn't be as appealing, right? So I got this, got that green screen effect on me. Thermal extraction devices, like the Dynavap. Although no formal lab studies have tested the Dynavap specifically, there are similar conduction heat, conduction type, or flask vaporizers that achieve under controlled conditions. A certain type, the PLOS1 head-to-head study comparing four electric vaporizers, the Volcano, the Plenty, the Arizer, and the Da Vinci, found THC recovery in vapor devices ranged from 54 up to 82%, depending on device design and heating profiles. Notably, the Arizer reached 82% THC extraction, with overall recoveries of THC and CBD being between 70 to 82%. That's pretty cool. So there we go. Here's the little chart it gave me. Side by side, traditional smoke versus Dynavap style vaporizers. Estimated THC recovery into inhaled vapor or smoke, a bong, is between 10 to 15% of the flower's cannabinoids. And this one is up to 55 to 65%. On the conservative side, 80 to 90% with ideal heating and technique. All right, so in that way, like Sam, every single dollar you spend will go between 5 and 8 times further. Right? You cannot tell me that doesn't sound like it would be worth it in the long term, because you've mentioned you've been going out every single day. All right, so to the point where you've been getting tanned. I don't know if it's something that bothers you, but do you like the taste in your mouth afterwards? Do you like the smell? Maybe like that's also another thing. Some people do like the smell and like the taste. I was not one of those, right? Like when you come back into the house, do you like instantly drink something to get rid of the taste in your mouth? Or do you kind of like savor it? Mm. All right, this can be actually savored, where I don't know if the smoky flavors are the same. I just want you to understand that the more you push this, the more obstinate I'm going to become. Can we move on now? I guess so, Sam. To each their own, right? Love is true. Mm, that is quite gentle. Being sensitive. I am so grateful for my sensitivities. Jeeves. My sensitivities have been the thing that steers me to things that I like in the most part. Hey, Emily. How you doing? It's nice having you. Just like that. I am done for today's stream. It's also one of the nice things, is that it's usually one of those things that almost sneaks up on you, becomes a part of your collective experience, and then, at least in my personal experience, tapers off in the way that you barely notice. I've been experimenting with my own sensitivities for so long. There are so many things where I have this intuition. And I think about it from this perspective of what's going to be valuable in the future. And very much so from this perspective of being a curator, an influencer, you can call it too. And, like there's a bunch of different reasons to want to try and influence another person. There can be, of course, the pure financial gain. If I had an affiliate link already, hey Natalie, I can't seem to place your accent. Yeah, I get that often. People do ask me where I'm from, even in the country that I'm born in. Ek is Suid-Afrikaanse seentjie. I'm Afrikaans. I live in South Africa. Sensitivity is like patience. You can run out of it. Intuit this, sir. I'll intuit. I'm intuiting. Hey, Corey. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling the love, sending you and Peach and the little fruit cups. So many blessings. How old is Fruit Cup now, bro? Like a 3-year-old? Fruit Cup is like becoming a person, or having like will of its own and stuff, probably. Sending you blessings. Nice to have you here. Today we're having this conversation about our sensitivities, all right? And how I do believe my sensitivities make me aware of certain things. And that awareness is, not can be considered, is, damn it, valuable. And I add value by saying things. Yes, and I shall not be convinced otherwise, because I know for a fact that every single person, and I know this sounds like egotistical, but bear with me. Every single person that actually took me up on like real advice that I give, right? Real recommendations. It's like, hey, I really believe in this, and I'm gonna like say something about it. Every single person that took me up on something like that never ended up regretting it, right? And again, I'm only 27 years old, so I still have a lot of time to be wrong. However, I don't stand up. I don't stand up for something unless I'm very sure that I'm right. It's very difficult for me to be wrong, both ways, because I try and make sure that I'm not. And if I am, I'm gonna suffer. I'll suffer. I'll admit it. I'll admit it, but I hate admitting it, so I try not to be wrong in the first place. I was wondering because I heard that, and then there's a different twang to it. I'm a fellow South African. Nice, Natalie. Bless you. Yeah, yeah. I don't exactly. Let me like try and tune into the expected Afrikaans accent. Expected Afrikaans accent is more something like this. You speak a little bit. Maybe I'm overdoing it, but that's kind of what I think people think I'm supposed to sound like. uh, I've been an internet kid literally since I was 6. For better and worse. But I learned how to speak English at the very least. That I do think is my first language at this point. I don't think I'm enkele Afrikaanse persoon anymore. Enkele is like nie baie Afrikaans nie. My family is, and I still speak Afrikaans to them, but I think in English at this point. I'll start trying to say something in Afrikaans and be like, I need to articulate this again in English just so this person understands what I actually was trying to say. Sam, doing well, just been living and experiencing. Yeah, I don't know if I've echoed it enough, but again, Corey, it's okay for you to be sensitive, bro. During the yoga with Louisiana and Joy, there was a little bit of an echoing of how important it is for us as men to allow ourselves to be sensitive. All right, it's very easy for us to convince ourselves that I'm supposed to be burly. Let me cry? Never. I don't cry. I only chew glass, walk on nails. That's what I do. I ride horse, wear boots. Yeah. Put hard hat on. Mm-hmm. Wield axe, chop tree down with chainsaw. Yep, that's me. Piloting bulldozer. Oh, jeeps. Yeah. We men have an idea of what we think a man is supposed to be as well, and then we keep ourselves to that standard. What do I think a man is supposed to be? I think a man is supposed to be strong. Admittedly, I do think that. But I've realized that strength is so much more than just your axe wielding ability, right? Strong has very much become to me the ability to be calm, emotionally balanced, stable. I value my own stability more and more. I want to be stable, right? Whatever that means. It's a tall ask, knowing the kind of person that I am as well. But we like a challenge, don't we? Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I think I've read all of these. I was wondering because I heard that. Bless again. Yeah, yeah. Being sensitive to the world around you can be overwhelming, but also a superpower almost. It's true. It's true. I do think I want, if I don't already have that superpower, I am very open to getting melted by the torrent of experience as it crashes down upon me, right? In fact, sometimes the torrent crashes down upon me and I'm like, oh wow, I really feel this torrent. Would be nice if there was more pressure, right? It's like being in the shower and you're like, oh, this shower feels good. And then you like turn the knobs more because you want even more. Hush, hush, getting like, water bow blasting you from the back, and you're like, yeah, how about even more of that? All right. What is it about that intensity? I've been thinking about that part of me where if I have like a device, a monitor, I turn that monitor up essentially to maximum brightness. This one is always maximum brightness. I like my music very loud. The louder the better. I want my entire like molecule makeup to vibrate alongside the frequencies, right? And sometimes if you want that, those amplitudes have to be thick. They're really good. I have to like those molecules and like back down again. Yeah. What is it about intensity? Is it that I am becoming less sensitive? Or is it that my sensitivities like the extremes? All right, I'm imagining like a kind of microphone that only really triggers when it hears a nuclear explosion. All right, if there's like small bombs or dude clapping his hands, it doesn't hear anything. But then when nuclear explosion happens, it's like, huh? And like for some reason, it seems my sensitivity is like on that frequency where it's like I want the nuclear explosion of whatever the experience. I should probably stop saying that. Oh geez, the universe is like what? Message misreceived. Suddenly we start nuking ourselves as a species. No, not like that. Not like that. Not it. Maybe that is why we were like setting ourselves up to be able to, at the very least. Has the best energy. Chad Zamok. I see your name is Z-Stan. Z-Stan Chad Zamok fan club. I mean, if he has a whole fan club, he must have good energy. But I don't know him specifically myself, but bless him on his journey and all of the good that he brings to people like you, the Z-Stans. Woo! Love is true. I are liking to be speaking English very deliciously. Just kidding. Hoop jy het 'n goeie dag. Dankie Natalie. Vir jou ook. Bless. Corey, being a man without being sensitive is like breathing without taking a breath. Kind of fucking hard to do, guy. It's true. It's true. I feel like it's just about allowing ourselves that as well. Allowing our homies that, allowing ourselves that in front of our homies. You know, it's okay to be sensitive. Morgan? Morgan Flandrop? Hey! Saying your name like I've known you for years. Hey, Khalid! How you doing? Love is true. Being a man. Bless again. Just came to say hi and bye. Bless you, Nancy. Thank you for tuning in for even a moment of your time. It's always appreciated. Yeah, being sensitive. I do plan on remaining sensitive. Right, and I was talking about the whole music thing. Worried. Because again, I like it loud. I like it that way. I like being able to feel the music alongside being able to hear the music. The more of my senses that are actively involved in my experience, the more in tune I am with it. All right. That's why I really enjoy the festival environment, because the speakers there literally are like throwing you around. All right. It's crazy. I find a great deal of joy in being able to tactily feel in my body the music I'm listening to as well. However, it's not particularly good for your ears to be that close to that loud of music. So my mind is in this juxtaposition of, I like the music loud. Liking the music loud makes my hearing worse. Technically, could make my hearing worse. Could reduce my sensitivity, which would reduce my ability potentially to enjoy my music, which is not what I want. All right. So in that little microcosm of experience, I imagine how that extends to the rest of my life as well. You know, which things and at what doses can I allow to be loud? How loud can I allow it to be? Should I be wearing ear protection if I'm gonna be close to the loud things? Me too, love loud music. Best ever was Motorhead and Rammstein live. I could feel my lungs move. Yeah, you could feel, they can literally feel the air in your lungs vibrating. And again, that might not sound like a good thing, but for some reason, my body likes it. It's like, I can feel the music. And I like legitimately, part of me wants to earn high income. And it's not even that high income. I want to earn $100,000, right? To have in like liquid cash to spend as I wish. Ideally, have an investor that floats me the cash so I can spend it as I wish. And then instantly, I'm going to spend it on like the first 50 grand on speakers, and then the other 50 grand on, stuff that I can make visuals with probably. And then just like that, I'll have the full sensory experience. All right. Eyes get to see things, body gets to feel things, ears get to hear things. All right. And then I would love to, of course, do aromatherapy on my stage as well. And then ideally, it'll be relatively small potentially, but it'll be lifted. Right? It'll have like a raised platform. And then that raised platform will have perforations. And then underneath those raised platforms will be fresh air being ceaselessly pumped, right? Like imagine industrial sized blowers. The audio might be affected by it, but if you play the speakers loud enough, I don't think it will matter, right? And again, within moderation. And then again, you can like attach the audio, the aromatherapy to the audio, of course, right? Like different feels, different smells. And also you can attach that system to the ventilation system where you can literally pump the aromas from underneath, right? You'll smell beach vibes, and then suddenly you'll smell the sweetness of strawberry, and you'll be like, whoa, what just happened? Why am I suddenly feeling some other way now? And I'll be like, yeah, feel things. You better feel things. My brother is a drummer, and his music has suffered because of it. No loud music. is not really good for your hearing. You might not feel it now, but it could become a problem later in life. It's true, Natalie. You see, it's good to be aware of these things. However, Rammstein, yo, I imagine that was a riot, like fire. Absolute fire. That's what I can imagine. It would be the perfect way to say it. Uh, I am cracked enough to, when the technology becomes available to me, to literally replace my ears with cybernetic ones. Right? That's 100% gonna happen, because the reason our ears fail is because they're biological. There are these spirals, and those spirals are like changing in diameter, and depending on the diameter, it catches different frequencies, and it vibrates different hairs, and then it sends those signals as information to your brain. You can do all of that stuff without having to do all of that stuff. You can technically just use modern microphone technology, very sophisticated, right? I would have like you can have like 16 ears pointing in all different directions as a part of your ear. It could still look like an ear. Maybe I'll have like slightly cyber ear. Maybe I'll change their colors or something. Maybe they'll have little black spots on them where all of the microphones are. I don't know. Maybe they'll look like earrings. Maybe it will look like I have piercings. But then suddenly, the level of fidelity that I can hear with would be extreme. And then again, me being a content creator, I can use my ears input. I can like zoom in on the sound the little Burby is making and appreciate that chatter with you. Nice to hear chatter in the morning. Bless ya. Hoop to hoops. It's nice to share some chatter with you. Stimulate that brain for the day. Ninja Nanner. Yay. Joe is sending blessings to our friend. Hey Mel. Just juxtaposed extensions. That moment when you no 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 no. Drummer. Best live show ever. The pyrotechnics alone is worth it. I like how I was like, yeah, it would have been fire. And then, our beloved friends goes, the pyrotechnics. I'm like, that's exactly what I was thinking about as well. Right? Like they do make it a spectacle. Yes, because again, right, that's their thing. That's the Rammstein thing. For me, I would do, of course, probably like LED screens, like dome-like LED screens that almost like envelop your senses. And potentially some 3D mapping on the elements that can't be LED screens. Where the Rammstein fractal is like, again, it's a performative band, and then it's like dark metal. It's like, this is some hectic shit, fire, right? Like creating that energy inside of you, and I get that, and I would probably like experiencing it too, just for the spectacle of it. I don't think I'd ever do it myself though, right? And I feel like that's where we can appreciate and know thyself at the same time. So much love in chat today. What a pleasure it has been. I do feel my back hurting. I don't know if it helps to sit this way. I wonder if I change my seating position, if it would help. Ooh. Ah. You know, it's not helping. I feel like I need to figure out to get my legs a little bit more comfortable. But my back feels better. Yes, we live and we learn. We live and we learn. I'm thinking about how sensitive the human body is. In yoga, and this is me almost like riffing slash canon eventing or canon heading, like thinking for myself. I believe that every single yoga pose has like a different thing to say, all right, to the body. That is like there's some sort of communication happening when you get into these poses. Right? Because again, you have a bunch of sensors all over your body. Every single part of you is filled with sensors. And when you put yourself in different poses and you challenge yourself in different ways, those different sensors become activated. And all of those sensors are sending their signals up your body and into your brain. Pushing little buttons, changing the way that you perceive your reality, changing the way that you communicate. I want to become more sensitive to these signals. I want to be able to send more signals down myself as well, right? My body sends a lot of signals up. I don't know if you know, but your body, I think, sends up more signals than your brain sends down. On average, at the very least. Which is wild to think about. Right? Because you do think, oh, I'm the one talking to my body. I say lift hand, and my hand lift. And I've done that the whole time, and my body hasn't really said anything in return. However, if you really start becoming more sensitive, you realize your body is actively having a conversation with you. There is a ceaseless dialogue happening. Never stopping. All you can hope to become is sensitive enough to listen. And if you're really lucky, you'll become sensitive enough to do something about it. Try that upside down hanging contraption for your back. It's wonderful. Any day now, Prairie Wolf. I'll have access to upside down hanging contraption for your back. I don't really think I've ever seen any of those in my own experience. Iets met de drank. Yeah. Is die kracht weer aan? Ja. No, not here, Paul. Dad is asking if I want something to drink. My lower back is killing me. But I am killing it. Not my lower back, that is just this experience and the unwillingness to let it get the best of me. I have a very interesting relationship with pain. Right, where when I experience pain, I take it as an extra opportunity to not let it affect me. I let myself feel the pain. That part doesn't go away. But I never feel bad about it. In fact, there is a part of me that allows myself to feel good about it. And I don't think at least, a masochist. Melt the masochist. No, please. I don't think I'm a masochist. However, I do feel, again, coming back to the previous thing, strong and stable, and being able to feel pain and not become an axe murderer about it, right? Because that happens too. People lose their minds about pain, jump off buildings to get away from like toothache. Pain is a wild thing. Henceforth, the previous shall be known as the if you're lucky vent. If you like that? You like that vent that I did go through just now? If you're lucky, you'll get to do something about it. It's true though, right? Like those sensitivities, because again, like I don't always tend to be very lucky as it relates to it. It's like my body has been hurting for a long time. And I've been sensitive to that pain this whole time as well. And I've been lucky enough to have friends, realistically, that introduced me to yoga. But if I had to like go it by my ace, I probably would have just like gotten more and more hurt to the point of, feeling very unlucky as a person. So in that way, I'm very grateful for the people that I have in my life more than anything. They've allowed me to learn things from myself. Oh, almost. Hey, Stephen G. Field. Bro, thank you for blessing the space. Give Stephen G. Field up, dudes. I see somebody already did. Send him some blessings. Send them some love. I can put a heart on that too. Boom. Yeah, 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 yeah. Love is true. Stephen G. Oh, you literally posted the love is true. Did he? I think that is a love is true one, right? Yeah, it is. It is. Bless your friend. It's nice to have you here. We're having a conversation today about how it's okay to be sensitive. Right? That there's nothing wrong with us for being sensitive human beings. And that if you feel unworthy or guilty of being sensitive, unworthy or guilty of something, unworthy of people's love because of your sensitivities, you shouldn't be. Without your sensitivities, you wouldn't be. Right? Your sensitivities is the thing that has been keeping you alive, feeding you, drawing you forward into the future, knowing that there is still more love to be had. I appreciate you, friends, a lot. Thank you for joining me. Ooh, for sharing in this space. Part of me wants to lengthen my legs. I wonder. I do wonder. We had the whole conversation about not being numb, right? Because the way that pain works right now for us is that you cannot have no pain without any consequences. All right. However, I imagine technology evolving in a way where maybe I'll be able to decide. Being able to switch it off would be nice. You should think through the future. I do try and think through the future in that way, right? Like being able to go to a doctor. Maybe he injects my spine with steroids or some sort of stem cells or some sort of growth hormone that they extracted from my own blood or fat cells, right? The stem cells or whatever, right? You can make stem cells out of fat these days, right? And then I'll get better. And I'll be so stoked about it. And it's coming. Oh, it's getting closer and closer. Every breath I take. You really want to live forever. I don't want to live forever. I want to live for at least 1,000 years. That's what I want. Wanting to live forever is not what I want, right? Because forever means that I'll never die, ever, whether I want to or not, which is not what I want, right? Because that forever means literally the freaking heat death of the universe happened. And I'm just like floating there in the void of space. I don't know, watching reruns of TV shows or whatever. Again, that's not what I want. For the next 1,000 years, do I want to live? Yeah, that's what I do want. Because again, for me, I'm a storyteller. Storyteller/story lover. I love stories. I am a lover of stories. The better the story, the more in love I become, right? And for me, it's like a matter of, I had this conversation with Jovan last night. Did you talk about, I saw Nemo for a second. I talked to her about how movies to me are like friends, and that can be sad. It is a little bit sad. But movies to me are like friends. It's like a whole person. Technically, it's a bunch of people, coming together collectively to give you that experience. And learning from stories and feeling into stories and seeing how stories affect me as I continue growing my own story, realizing how as my story becomes more nuanced, my interpretation of other stories becomes more nuanced as well. I love that stuff. And I would love to see what it looks like 1,000 years later. And if I want to live 10,000 more years when I've become 1,000 years old, then so be it. Then I'll become 11,000 years old. 11,111 years old. And then I'll be like, you know what? I kind of want to live 111,111 years, actually. And then I'll live for another 111,000. And then I'll be like, you know what? Let's go for 1,000,000. And then at some point, if it reaches that point and I don't want to continue loving this world, if I feel I've loved this world enough, I've loved this world proportionally to how much it's loved me, then maybe I'll say goodbye. But until that day, 1,000 years. 1,000 years MeltMore. For 1,000 years. Thousands of years of MeltMore. It's gonna stop. Bless you again, Stephen G. Fuel. Stephen G. Fuel, actively, right, contributing to, all of the gene editing I'm gonna have done in the future. Thank you, Stephen G. Fuel. Thank you, bro. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, actually, thank you for making me more powerful in the future. Yes, I'm becoming more powerful. More powerful. More. You should. Yeah, he's like, fuck. Yeah, I can feel it. He's like, I'm down for this ride, bro. We're in for a wild one. You should think through the future. You really want to live forever. Yeah, no. When you get here, your chiropractor will be a South African rugby player that we call Nimu. She'll fix you right up. I do need some of that. Yeah, good. Some chiropractors. Getting myself help. Nice. Thank you, Xiao. That adds extra good vibes. The Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades. Did I miss context? Maybe. That would be pretty cool, to be honest. Floating through space. I did think the same thing, Stephen G. But I thought to myself that, if that was the case, I probably wouldn't be an embodied being at that time, right? That version of me that is forever living is probably a literal supercluster that is, surrounding some sort of like supermassive black hole that with Hawking radiation is powering itself, for another couple of trillion years after the heat death of the universe, right? And then I'll also probably speed up my clock speed so high, and then I'll slow down my perception of tokens so low that a second in reality around that supermassive black hole would be trillions of years experientially. So I'll get to live much longer in myself. I'll basically live forever in myself, which I don't know if I want. Right? I could do that. I could. I don't know if I'm cracked enough. The part of me that's cracked is like, I'm fucking cracked enough. Oh, don't you challenge how cracked I am. Sorry. I'm so sorry. If life is unfair to us, does that make life fair? Andile, I don't think life is fair. Oh, I unfortunately don't. I don't think life is fair. I do think love is true, right? But they're not synonymous, right? So I feel it is a matter of almost like what you're trying to find. Is that, did something unfair happen to you? Could be, yes. Does love cease to be true? Usually is no. Right? There's still more things to love. Could still love eating food. Could still love taking a nice nap, having some hot chocolate, feeling the sun on your face when it's super cold outside. There's still so much to love, right? And no matter how unfair things are, that stuff can't be taken away from you. That's yours. That's the love that is true, that is yours to keep forever. You might be able to learn how to manipulate the fabric of space and time, where you can go back and undo your immortalness. That sounds like some shit I do. Maybe like that's what I'm doing right now. I'm here to stop doing that. Right? I had this whole thing, even Stephen G. It's funny you say that kind of stuff. It was this moment where I realized my perception of time is not what I thought it was. Hey, Amelia. Bless your friend. It's nice having you. Where it was this experience where I was actively almost like involved in the process of doing something for myself in the present, with myself minding the future. And then suddenly, and it was me cooking us a meal, right? I cooked us some food. I suddenly was inundated by this deep experience of almost like connection, right? Like suddenly I'm like, whoa, why am I feeling this way? And then that feeling kind of went away, and I just continued with my experience. And then, like, a week passes, and I find myself in an experience. And I find myself thinking about that experience that I had with myself standing. And I could feel in a again, hippie way, and it's like I was in a deep state of meditation. Uh, I could feel myself tuning into my past self and directly influencing his lived experience. And I was like, oh, wow, I don't know if I should be doing that. But the me that I am can feel myself doing it from the future. And then this me tries to be as loving and as compassionate and as present and as frugal and as mindful of my future, self, that he doesn't hate me. He doesn't like absolutely beat me to a pulp when that future comes, because it's going to be this version of me that has to take the beating. Yes, makes perfect sense. Did you gift me? Maybe not me. Probably Jovan. I think it might have been Jovan that gifted you a membership. Do thank her. Isn't it nice of her? I love her. Anyone in comment, what's your perspective on quantum immortality? I so love that you're asking that, Moon Knight, and I so love that we had like a real chat about quantum immortality in stream. And I think like 2 days ago, Kurzgesagt made a quantum immortality video, and their videos are like, mwah. And again, the quantum immortality idea is not a brand spanking new one, and I by no means was the one that came up with it. But it was fun to explore in this space, and it was cool to see you friends being open to such ideas. And then it was cool to see Kurzgesagt touch on these ideas as well. I'm like, yeah. Okay. And if you don't know who Kurzgesagt is, you're like, Mel, you keep saying that word like all of us are supposed to know it. Try and type it into YouTube. Kurks, like Kurk. I also can't spell it, damn it. It's hard. It is hard. Kurzgesagt. I think they probably like shot themselves in the foot a little bit. I mean, it is recognizable at the very least. They have these nice, clean, bird-themed animations, and they like talking about science in a visual way, right? They like making the wildness of reality and the depth of existentialism beautiful. Right? Yeah, boom. It's sold. Kurzgesagt. Go and check them out if you haven't, at the very least. Most of you probably have. They are pretty popular. I do hope all of you friends have seen their stuff. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. You mean something to me, cause we spent the time together having words. We're never more than like I thought away, bro. At this point, like there is a quantum connection in all of us as well with one another. Do you think we should try to achieve immortality? I just had a conversation about that, Moon Knight. I don't know if you weren't here for it, but you should like skip back at least 10 minutes and then listen to what I said about the whole immortality question for myself, right? Immortality and living for the next 1,000 years. To the average person, it might sound like I'm asking for the same thing. But for me, it's very different propositions, right? 1,000 years to me is nothing. Literally like a smidge, like a little, like imagine a star being wiped out with a finger, right? Like it's a speck of dirt on space, right? On like the infinite universe, like that's what 1,000 years feels to me like. It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense, but I get where you're going. Please get where I'm going. So in that way, right, like 1,000 years is nothing to me experientially, I think, with the infinity that is this universe. Immortality, though, I think you already are. I'll say that on the other side, Moon Knight. I think what you are is already immortal. So you don't have to really achieve it, right? You can't achieve what you are. Ta-da! Is that John? Since you're going to America, I expect to see Melty Flowers in the Vegas Dome within 10 years. Manifest. I did say I'm gonna do Vegas Dome, John. No, I'm still gonna freaking do Vegas Dome. I'm gonna have to do a lot of work though, bro. I'm gonna have to become salesman. like really become salesman. I'm gonna salesman so hard. Selling your own stuff. Selling your own stuff. All of us are salesmen. I don't know if you know this, but unfortunately, that is the game we're in. You have to be able to sell yourself at the very least. Makes me feel sensitive though, right? Because as soon as you fail at selling yourself, right, it's there. It's very easy to take that very personally. So personals. I used to be obsessed with that channel. I need to go back and watch the newer ones. I just felt like they spent less time on the newer ones. They might be. They have a much bigger audience and they did diversify a little bit with their like merchandising. But I still love the team behind the work that they do, Stephen G. I think it's like go and watch the Quantum Immortality one. That's a good one. That's the one I watched recently. And if you haven't seen The Egg, I hope that's one of the ones you've seen. The Egg is like one of my favorite Kurzgesagt videos. The moon. I look forward to have a stream where you and I talk about science and its magic. Being able to. I don't really know if I'm a scientist enough to be able to talk about science in that way. Hoopty hoops. Right. I feel, if anything, I am. I am a hype man. And I like hyping science. I like hyping beauty. I like hyping music and dancing and yoga. I like hyping myself up. Yow! Wow! Let's go! I like that. That's who I am. I think The Egg was my intro to Kurzgesagt. I'm a big fan of their verbs. Like Kurzgesagt has been in my life longer than you have, Joe. And Joe is a burby person, right? So I love Kurzgesagt. And when Joe came into my life and she identifies with the burbies as much as she did, that is like another thing that I loved about you. That I have these other things that I love about other creators and their burby approaches to. You're good at translating science into words and speaking about it in a way that reaches general people that themselves wouldn't maybe even be interested in it. I appreciate you saying that, John. I do like doing that, right? Like making science something that a person would just find cool, right? Just like kind of making a person aware. It's like call to awareness kind of vibes. It is a pleasure. Thank you, John. I appreciate your putting up that mirror and giving me that reflection, bro. Jamie John, hope you're well. Love is true. That hype sound needs to be a subscription noise. Every time someone subscribes, just like, whoa, let's go! Let's go! John, it sounds so. That so reminds me of Carl Sagan and Bill Nye. That's the first thing that I thought about, Sam. Science communicators. And I don't know that I consider myself one. I don't think personally that I understand as much as I'm supposed to, right? Like for me, and this is again my own imposter syndrome and perfection bias, but I personally feel that I would need to have a lot more of an understanding of how the universe works in order to really take a stand to be a teacher on how the universe works. That's why I like reserve myself to more talking about my own experience and my own perspective on what it is I'm going through, right? Today, for example, being it's okay to be sensitive, right? I could be wrong. I could be full of shit. Talking up my ass, whatever, right? And an actual psychologist man, right, with 5 PhDs could talk about human sensitivity and could do so eloquently, right, that I would be schooled. And I'm willing to admit that too. However, that is not kind of the way I'm aligning myself. I'm trying to align myself with almost like the authenticity of the human experience as much as I can. And knowing that every single one of you are also probably having an authentic human experience, that's almost what I'm trying to appeal to if we're going to use, the friggin' terminology in use right now. I am trying to be friend. I'm just trying to be friend. I'll be internet friend. Love is true. Hey, Eves. Evies Monivis. She's like, what's up? Oh, don't you want some lick in the face? I'll give you the best lick in the face. The bestest. You wanna get closer? You're gonna get close. Get up close. Instantly, there's a jealous Kobe. So jealous. You wanna escape him? Okay. There you go. Mel, I suggest you take into account the width as well as the depth. I try, I think. I try and take even more in than that. I don't know if you were here for that part of the conversation a little bit earlier, but I try and take in literally more vectors, right? Yes, width and length, of course, but how does it taste? It's like, sir, that's a statue. It's not made to be tasted. Dusty. Must have been standing here for a long time. Now suddenly I can taste the time alongside what I'm seeing in front of me, right? Its width and depths and its experiential time that it's been here. You'll hear that I'm a top friend of show. Please MeltMore right now. Oh, that is true, G. You're making me happy, bro, with all of these blessings you're sending. When I escape from my own thoughts sometimes, me and you both, bro, I found that it's impossible for me to. So I try and almost like be kind of dismissive. I don't know. This is not advice again. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just telling you how it is sometimes. I become dismissive. I become dismissive of thoughts that I do not find worthy of my attention. Right? I'll literally pick up on my own bullshit and I'll be like, I sound bullshit though. I'm like, yeah, tell me more about how sad you are or whatever. Jeeps. And again, I don't think that's necessarily healthy all the time, but it like interrupts my pattern. It's like, wait a second, okay, fine. Maybe it's not actually that bad. Maybe I should stop catastrophizing. All right. It's like the world hasn't ended yet, bro. You see the world ending? No? Then continue living. Take deep breaths and find yourself present with where it is you are. There is no escape. There is only acceptance of where you are. There is no escape. There is only acceptance of where you are. All right. Infinities unfolding right in front of you. We are all more or less oriented to the truth. The whole analogy of a bunch of blind men put hands on an elephant, and every single one of them comes up with a different description of what it is they're touching. Just stop thinking, you'll be all right. Yeah, let yourself off the hook. It's more like we are oriented to what is in our heart, and we can choose to allow the truth to live there or allow something else to live there. Yeah, it's true. Noticing where the curiosity suddenly stops as the ego feels threatened. Yep. That's a good point you're making. And Sam is adding to that with the whole heart. It's like the wants. Your wants is very related to your ego, right? Because what you want is a direct branch of ego, right? So when what you want isn't like received or achieved, that is an affront, an attack on the ego, right? And then an attacked ego responds in a bunch of different ways, sometimes hurtful, sometimes self-isolating, sometimes giving you cold treatment, sometimes running away forever, sometimes wailing on you, sometimes abuse. Like there's a bunch of different things the ego can do. And if you can get to know yourself. And again, for me, what I value is stability, staying as stable as I can, staying calm. It's the best thing I can do for myself. Demonic possession. Whoa. I'm gonna show you the flower. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Ooh, ah. My back. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, some mobility. Thank you. There's hearts inside the hearts. Inside more hearts. This is the shapey that made me pick this flower. Have you ever seen such a thing? I haven't seen such things. Oh, Jovan with her heart eyes. Jeebies. I do like her so much. You know, you might even say I love her a lot. Look at that. Yeah. I do like whatever that is. Some sort of creature. Some sort of thing. Can you feel it? It has like eyes. Those feels like sensors to me. Seems like they can observe me as much as I can observe them. And then there's this little dude. Yeah, like, I'm just a little happy guy with my little duck lips. I hate to stop. I feel like a part of me is like my body is definitely releasing stuff to like cope with, what's happening down there, and it is making me a little bit like loose feeling, like the edges are softening. So eating roasted almonds in my heart. That moment when you eat roasted almonds in your heart, it's more the sense of what you love, what you allow, to rule your decision making. Yeah, it's true. Just making sure I'm not missing any comments. It's time for me to now read you a poem that I've showed you a flower. It goes, try anyway. Have you considered trying anyway? It's gonna be hard? Try anyway. It's gonna hurt? Try anyway. Don't know what's gonna happen next? Try anyway. So, you step up again. Heart racing, hands unsure, knowing it might work, knowing it might not. Trying is funny that way. It never guarantees a win, never promises comfort, just open doors to every possible outcome. Success, failure, laughter, tears. But here's the secret. Nothing's given in earnest. Nothing given in earnest is ever lost. Money spent becoming wise, time used becomes stories. Feelings bruised become strength. Sure, you might stumble, but falling forward still moves you ahead. Deeply means you know what is right. And isn't that why we're here? To taste life fully, bitter, sweet alike. To say, yes, I've tried, with a grin that says, I try some other way as well. Every chance taken is life leaning closer, whispering thank you for showing up. Every risk is proof that you chose courage over quiet regret. So breathe in hope, brace for adventure, and try anyway. Because even on the hardest days, trying is how we love ourselves into the fullness of living. Loving ourselves into the fullness of living. Can you manage? Can you manage loving yourself into the fullness of living? Jeebies, I try every day. Sometimes I manage to not love myself out of the fullness of living. So I'm learning. Got some monster energy, drink more in my heart. I got some monster energy myself, bro. Human beings are the scariest things on planet Earth, after all. Living ourselves into the fullness of loving, too. Yeah, exactly. That's also a beautiful way to say it. Allowing ourselves to live into the fullness of loving. Courage over quiet regret. That touched me. Every chance taken is life leaning closer, whispering thank you for showing up. Every risk is proof that you chose courage over quiet regret. Bless you, Barry Wolf. Thank you, friends, for being touched by my words, for being in this space, to be here alongside me today. I will see you with me eyeballs again tomorrow. Love y'all. Bless you, John. Until we do it again on the morrow. Goodbye, dear friends. Thank you, MeltMore. You're welcome. Cheers. Till we do it again. See ya. So much love. I appreciate. Yes. Goodbye, friends. Cheers.